Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you an announcement from the China Lake on testing noise, anti-gun news, a scam warning from the Kern County Sheriff's Department, election news, news of a coming DUI checkpoint, today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Our lead story today is from China Lake. They have issued a notice that noise can be expected from the base due to testing. The Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake said between 9 and 11 p.m. tonight and tomorrow night there will be testing conducted on the east side of the base. The testing may create loud explosions and visible fire. This is only a routine test. Questions or concerns can be addressed to the Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division Public Affairs Office at 760-939-3511. Here's the latest in the anti-gun movement. A top New York City official says regulators must force a major gun maker to disclose to its shareholders the danger its products pose. This is in the hope investors will pull their funds from the company. New York Public Advocate Letitia James sent a letter to the Securities and Exchange Commission March 22nd asking it to force Sturm Ruger to disclose to investors the alleged risks its firearms pose. She's claiming the Southport, Connecticut gunmaker had violated securities law and misled investors on how often its products are used in crimes. Gun manufacturers must come clean about the dangers posed by their business and the risk it represents for even their own shareholders, James said in a statement. As public advocate, I will continue to pursue every possible avenue to hold those gun makers and sellers accountable. The letter asks the SEC to make Ruger disclose how many of his firearms are used in criminal activities, what steps the company has taken to make sure its guns don't end up in criminal hands, and what Ruger does to prevent its guns from being distributed to bad apple gun dealerships. New York City's move against Ruger is the latest in a series of attempts by anti-gun groups there to dissuade major investors like pension funds and banks from holding stakes in gun companies. In December, Jones tried to force TD Bank to withdraw its financial backing of Smith & Wesson after the terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California. Last year, a prominent New York City church lobbied successfully to get Walmart to pull AR-15 style rifles from its shelves after it sued to force the massive retail chain to allow a shareholder vote on whether the company should sell products that are especially dangerous to the public and pose a substantial risk to the company reputation, and would reasonably be considered offensive to the community and family values. While the lawsuit never went forward, the chain nevertheless said it would not restock ARs and self-defense shotguns it sold off. So, just a threat by a group forced Walmart to stop selling certain types of firearms. While it doesn't matter in California, it is at the root of the anti-gun movement. Holding a company responsible for what someone may do with their product that they have no control over the individual. How about holding a car manufacturer responsible every time someone drives a car into someone else? So, now here's a story we get from the Kern County Sheriff's Department. The Kern County Sheriff's Office would like to warn citizens of a possible phone scam that has been circulating in the Kern County area as of yesterday. Numerous citizens have reported receiving calls from callers who identify themselves as being employees of the Sheriff's Office. The callers have been able to provide names and in some cases identification numbers of Sheriff's Office employees. The callers advise that the person being called owes money for outstanding warrants and needs to pay the warrant fine immediately via money order or be arrested. This is a common scam that has been circulating throughout the United States for several years. The Sheriff's Office would like to remind citizens that we do not solicit payments for outstanding warrants via telephone. Citizens should be wary of callers soliciting information or currency without verifying who they are speaking to. If you believe you have possibly been targeted or received a similar type call, try to note the number of the incoming call and immediately hang up. Do not provide the caller any personal information. Report any suspicious calls or possible phone scam calls to your local law enforcement agency. For further information on how to avoid being a target of a scam, call the Sheriff's Office Crime Prevention Unit at 661-392-6914 or call the Ridgecrest Police Department as well at 760-499-5100. In election news, we get this report about the Cruz campaign. Ted Cruz's presidential campaign is trying to knock opponent John Kasich off Montana's ballot by questioning signatures the Ohio governor campaign submitted to qualify for the ballot. Another subplot in the unfolding political drama to derail Donald Trump's presidential bid. Emails obtained by the Associated Press show Cruz campaign officials have raised questions about the 622 signatures submitted by the Kasich campaign. A minimum of 500 valid signatures is required for a presidential candidate to qualify for the Montana ballot. The Cruz campaign asserts Kasich's petition contains signatures with invalid notaries, improper dates, mismatched phone numbers, and illegible names, among other potential discrepancies. Because John Kasich's campaign filed only 622 signatures, and the minimum number of signatures required under Montana law is 500, there is a reasonable probability that material defects with his petitions may reduce the number of valid signatures below the required minimum, and John Kasich is therefore not eligible for placement on the ballot. As of Wednesday, the campaign had not filed a legal challenge. Kasich supporters dismissed the claims. The validity and integrity of the signatures I can personally attest to. I personally collected the majority of them, and I personally submitted them to the county elections office, said Greg Frank, a co-chair of the Kasich campaign in Montana. Ted Cruz might be afraid of the competition, Frank added. If they're going to try dirty pool and dirty politics, I think there will be consequences with the electorate. Montana Secretary of State Linda McCullough said Kasich's names will remain on the June 7th ballot unless a judge orders otherwise. McCullough said it is up to county election officials to verify signatures. If it decides to take the matter to court, the Cruz campaign would have to act quickly because ballots need to be printed by mid-April. That gives Cruz a tight window to force a race between himself and Trump in a state whose small population and late primary usually make it an afterthought in presidential elections. Montana offers only 27 delegates, just a sliver of the 1,237 needed to win the GOP nomination outright. But a ballot battle in the Treasure State for precious delegates only underscores the high stakes involved in the national contest as some Republicans seek to prevent Trump from winning the primary nomination. The party's nomination could be decided by a delegate fight at this summer's GOP convention. Cruz has long sought to make the contest a two-man race, while Kasich is trying to remain relevant into the GOP convention that will be hosted in July by his home state. And as it is right now, there is a Rule 40 in the Republican Convention's rule book. According to Rule 40, only candidates that win 8 states' majorities can be placed up for nomination. Cruz has repeatedly said Kasich cannot get the 8-state minimum, so he should drop out. Kasich insists that the rule is there, but could be changed at will at the convention, thereby allowing him to be nominated. So more backroom trickery is being planned for the convention. And in breaking news today, we get this report of a new endorsement for Trump. In a never-done-before endorsement, the Border Patrol Union has endorsed a primary candidate for president. Their spokesman today said this: "We need a president who understands the problem, who's going to put the right political appointees in there, and who's going to let Border Patrol agents go out and enforce the law." He said currently the president has turned enforcement into basically a catch-and-release program. The Border Patrol is not allowed to enforce the laws. So that's the latest on another Trump endorsement. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll have news about a DUI checkpoint. Thanks for staying with us. Here's news of an upcoming DUI checkpoint by the Ridgecrest Police Department. The Ridgecrest Police Department will be conducting DUI driver's license checkpoints at undisclosed locations within the city limits, along with special DUI roving saturation patrols during the month of April. The next DUI driver's license checkpoint is set for Friday, April 1st, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Roving DUI saturation patrols will be deployed from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Another DUI driver's license checkpoint is set for April 22nd from 7 to 11, and roving patrols will start at 11 p.m. and go to 3 a.m. Then they will be doing other roving patrol saturations during the month as well. In California, the deadly crime of DUI has led to 802 deaths because someone failed to designate a sober driver. Alcohol and drug-impaired deaths still make up the largest category of overall vehicle fatalities in 2012, with 29% of all deaths caused by a drunk driver. A DUI checkpoint is a proven effective method to lower these numbers. Additionally, drivers will be checked to ensure that they have a valid driver's license. Specially trained officers will be available to evaluate those suspected of drug-impaired driving. The Ridgecrest Police Department reminds everyone that they can assist in preventing this crime from ever occurring. If you are planning a gathering or celebrating with alcohol included, or if you are out on the town, plan ahead and designate a non-drinking, sober driver. A DUI and drug-impaired arrest can cost up to $10,000 or even more, including time in jail, the loss of your driver's license, and high insurance rates. These enforcement efforts are funded by a grant from the California Office of Traffic Safety through the National Traffic Highway Safety Administration. Remember, everyone is encouraged to help keep our roadways safe. Report drunk drivers. Call 911. Now it's time for the 131st KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. Why does Trump make so many errors when he speaks ad lib? Well, once again, Trump has stepped into a whirlwind of criticism. It all resulted from an interview with Chris Matthews Wednesday. In it, he was pressed about a hypothetical situation where there was a law prohibiting abortion. This was clearly not a question he was prepared for. At one point, Matthews pressed him for an answer as to whether a woman should be punished if she had an abortion in violation with the law. After trying to dodge the question, Matthews wouldn't let it go. Trump finally said that if a woman had an abortion under that situation, she should be punished. Well, that comment lit up the internet. Just a short time later, the Trump campaign issued a retraction announcement. Here it is. If Congress were to pass legislation making abortion illegal and the federal courts upheld this legislation, or any state were permitted to ban abortion under state and federal law, the doctor or any other person performing this illegal act upon a woman would be held legally responsible, not the woman. Trump said, the woman is a victim in this case, as is the life in her womb. My position has not changed. Like Ronald Reagan, I am pro-life with exceptions. So that was his retraction of the earlier comment. I bet the liberals and anti-Trump establishment people, as well as Chris Matthews, were jumping up and down with how Matthews got Trump to make such a misstatement. I bet many of the Trump haters were out last night celebrating the Matthews attack. If you watch the interview, it was clearly an interview where the interviewer was pushing him to make a misstatement. Just once, it would be nice to see these same interviewers push the other candidates as roughly. I mean, why not push Cruz on his weaknesses? How about Clinton? God knows she has a multitude of problems she could be pushed on that are real. Yet here's an interviewer that makes up a hypothetical situation and grills a candidate for an answer. Now, I admit, Trump is not a good public speaker. However, he did pretty good at the convention where he gave a speech using a teleprompter. However, he's not a good ad-lib speaker. The observer can easily see he uses common repetition when he's searching for an answer to the question. That does make him seem not polished, and even lacking details in his answers. But I went to his campaign website and checked there for his positions. He is often hit by his competitors that his positions have no details. Well, I'll tell you, if you want to get details, go to that website. I think it is pretty thorough, equal to the other candidates' websites. For some reason, Trump just cannot bring that detail into his interview and debate answers. But the website is an example that he has thought out the issues pretty well. For an outsider, anyway. And every single pundit is sitting on his every word. They just sit there waiting for one word said wrong or misstatement. Remember how they used to jump all over George W. for his misstatements? Let's face it, he's not a good public speaker. But did you ever hear Obama without a prepared speech or teleprompter? Well, he is a little better than Trump, not much. When Obama showed up to give a talk to an elementary school classroom, he had teleprompters set up. Well, that was extreme. Many presidents have not been great speakers, but most were smart and capable. Being a great orator does not make a good president, but being a great orator helps you get elected. Being smart and thorough in your decision-making makes a good president. While this editorial is a defense of Trump to some extent, it is really meant to point out how ruthless the media is against him. And no other candidate is vilified as much as he is. I mean, consider this. His opponents are attacking him daily. They seldom attack each other. The Republican establishment is attacking him daily. Super PACs supporting other candidates are attacking him daily. A Republican anti-Trump super PAC is attacking him daily. The liberal media is attacking him daily. The Democrat candidates are attacking him daily. The super PAC supporting the Democrats are attacking him daily. This would be overwhelming for an average person, but yet Trump still puts himself out there every day, taking all these attacks. And he hasn't exploded yet. Anyway, yes, Trump does mistalk. He does say things badly from time to time. He is not a good public ad-lib speaker. But now to expand the attacks to hypothetical situations to get him to make a gaffe is a new low for the media. Heck, there is plenty of issues to quiz him on. Why do we now have to make up issues to get him? Chris Matthews was out of line in this interview, just as was the CNN moderator for the Tuesday town hall when he called Trump a fifth grader for his battle with Cruz. I didn't hear him call Cruz a fifth grader for the battle with Trump. So while Trump has turned this campaign upside down, the media has taken the ball and made it worse. And now, taking it up to made-up issues is really low. But then again, if the whole reason for you is to destroy someone, then that's where we'll go. In conclusion, Trump needs to go into interviews and not take the bait on hypothetical situations. Stick to the real issues. Then if he makes a misstatement, it's at least about something real, not a made-up gotcha moment. I'm Tom Whittick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Now stay with us for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, a storm system will move across the central and southern plains and portions of the Mississippi River Valley through Friday. Severe thunderstorms producing hail, damaging winds, and some tornadoes will be possible. Heavy rain may produce flash flooding in some areas. This system will also produce snow over portions of the upper Great Lakes and central Rockies. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 73, Georgia at 68, Arkansas at 73, northern Texas at 55, Arizona at 64, and Los Angeles at 60. And for us locally, tonight, mostly clear with a low around 49, southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Friday, sunny with a high near 78, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday night, clear with a low around 50, with a calm wind. Saturday, sunny with a high near 82, north wind 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear with a low around 52, south wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny with a high near 85, west wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 53, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 15. And Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 83, south wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
So that's the news for today. Also, KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.